Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay here with the For the Love podcast, episode 9. I'm here with a friend that I met kind of ironically. His name's Markel. Markel, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Jay? What's going on, Big Shot?
Another day, another podcast, another episode here. So, a little story about how I met Markel. I have a buddy that I work with. His name is Todd, and we're both into making music. So for anybody that knows me, I like to make beats. I've DJ'd for a long time. So me and Todd often talk about that because that's something that he does in his life. So he always told me he had a cousin. You guys are cousins, right?
Yes.
He told me that he had a cousin who was big into music, had a studio, and was doing some pretty good things with that. So he always talked about you, but I never met him. And we always kind of like bounced things off each other and planned to kind of get together, but it never happened. And one day at work, I have a deceased person, and when that happens, you have to call a funeral home to come pick up the body. And so the people come to pick the body up, and one of the persons is Markel. And so randomly we just start, and I didn't know. I never seen him before. So it's not like we saw each other and we were just like, oh, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? We didn't know each other.
Right.
And so we're just standing there, and we're waiting for the elevator. We just start talking, and this is kind of what this is all about and why I do this, people. And I'm very adamant that you should start talking to people more. Him and his partner, we just start having a little conversation because what else are you going to do?
Right.
What else are you going to do? You're there, just get to know people. So we started talking about things that I'm doing in my life and whatnot, and then you kind of mentioned that you do music.
Yep.
And I think, did you mention Todd to me? More than likely.
Yes, I did. I asked you about Todd.
Yeah.
I asked you, was he working the same shift or something?
Yes. So that's where we put two and two together, and Markel kind of told me about how he does music and stuff, and that's where I was like, oh my God, this is a guy that we talked about for probably years, and that was the deal. But it's just ironic how you meet people in situations like this. So that's why I'm always very adamant on opening up that form of communication. So Markel, how old are you?
I am 47.
Okay, 47. You grew up in New Haven?
Yep, grew up in New Haven.
Okay. So currently, what do you do with your life, job-wise?
I am a professional music bum. All I do is produce, write music, and for artists, professionally and locally, and I also work in the funeral industry.
Okay, so when did you start doing the music thing?
I was born into it.
Really?
From church. Yeah, I started playing the keyboard. I don't even remember. Man, I've been playing so long, I really don't even remember when I started. I was just born into it. Born into it.
So somebody in your family kind of teach you how to do these things?
What?
Or?
No one in my family actually taught me. My brother said he does, but he lies because he's a musician. He said he taught me, but he didn't teach me. But I used to admire him playing. But all my brothers, well, a lot of my brothers and family were all musicians.
Yeah.
So I inherited it.
Okay, that's interesting. So It's kind of like, I mean, nobody really in my family does anything that I do. It's weird, to be honest. But somebody like you, I just wonder if it's like in your blood, a genetic thing that, like, especially with the brain, like I'm fascinated about how the brain works. Like, for you to tell me that nobody really taught you and that you kind of just taught yourself.
Yep, self-taught.
That's so interesting.
So I think it is genetically, like,
right. It's got to be
passed down.
I would say
my father was a musician.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, my father's a musician. I didn't know him very long because he died when I was a kid, but he was a musician and used to sing solos in church and stuff a lot.
Okay, and he obviously grew up out in New Haven as well.
No, he's from Darlington, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
In fact, my father was a old bucket. If my father would have been living today, he would have been over 100 years old. He was 20 years older than my mother.
Wow.
Yeah, like 20 plus years older than my mother.
And they did well.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting. That's interesting to see that big of a gap and for people to connect in that manner. That's awesome.
Yep, and I'm the youngest out of 7 children.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep, I was the last. When they thought they was all done, My mother was like 36, 37 years old. My father was 50-something, 57 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
And made one more.
Oh, shoot. You got lucky, huh? Is that what you're saying? Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, I don't know if this is more of a down south thing, but I feel like families are bigger down south.
Definitely. People from the South, they always have big families,
Yeah.
big families.
And very connected.
Yep.
Very, very family oriented and very, into all that. It's and I don't know this, you know what I mean? I just see this. I think like movies and stuff kind of depict that pretty well about how it is.
You know, I could have related like this. On the cultural side, like the Italians and I think the Southerns, they have a lot. And like the families from Italy, from me doing my research, they have big families. They always have a lot of big families, and they all stuck together. And the same relates to the families from South. They all structurally the same.
Right.
The same upbringing. And then in Italy, when for me working with a lot of Italians, I see their families, well, not as much as so today, but back in the day, they were big. And I grew up in the Italian area. We were the only African American family in the area in our neighborhood, and we grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and all the families were big. Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
There was no more. There was like 7, 8 kids in the family.
Yeah, that really kind of is how it is. And like one of my best friends is like straight Italian, like 100% blood. Like his family is from over there. His parents came off the boat from there, and his family's huge. He's got 3 sisters, 3 brothers, and I look at that, I'm like, damn, and this is a predominantly very Italian town, and especially back in the day, and that's something that I saw growing up is how big families were too. You know what I mean? So you're right.
Those were the good days too. Those were the good days. We'll go from house to house, and like I said, we were like the only predominantly black family in the neighborhood, but they welcomed us in really awesome. Well, and we used to go over their houses for dinner. Wow. That's when those days when your neighbor could discipline you. Then I'll be bad. I was a bad kid. I'll be running around the neighborhood, but then all of a sudden the Italian lady, she'll pull me by the ear, get in the house, Markel, grab my ear. And the thing is, she'll hit my butt. Then she'll make me all these big meatballs, and then she'll call down the street down the hill to my mother. She'll be like, Mary, Markel, I got him. I gave him a whack on the hiney. He'll be down after dinner, okay? But those were the good days. Yeah. Now you can't even look at people's kids. No. You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
it's
crazy.
Yeah,
it is crazy.
Those were good days.
That's wild to hear that. That's wild because even my childhood, and I'm 34, so I look back and I'm like the difference. You know what I mean?
Big difference.
Just huge difference. Even the things like I did, I was always outside playing basketball, doing things like that. And I don't drive around when I'm driving around now, I don't see that a lot.
We don't see that no more. We did kickball, everything in the street. You know what I mean?
I see, like I said, I don't think people realize this. They're so caught up in everything that's going on because we live in a very fast society now.
Yeah, different.
It's
definitely.
So quick.
Definitely.
Everything's moving so fast.
Definitely.
But if you slow down and you really think about it, drive around. You don't see kids out there playing like they do.
No, you don't. They're inside doing their social media. Yeah. They're not outside. We had to be outside. My mother didn't let us stay in the house.
Well, I mean, even on my job, I see what's going on with these juveniles, and they're off the wall.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a new day. It's worse than it's ever been, I think.
Now, you doing music, you work with some juveniles at all ever?
Yes, I do. I work with a lot. In fact, I try to work with some young kids, some who just came out of prison and who did time, and they try to relate some of their stories through music. I work with them, and some of them most of them are really easy to work with.
That's good. You think that when they, from your experience of their personalities after coming out of a situation like that, do you think that some of them are kind of different?
Some of them are, and unfortunately some of them are, and some of them unfortunately will probably be back in the system again. Yeah. You know what I mean? You hear through their music and their actions and their words, and you can tell the good from the bad.
Right, absolutely.
You can tell the good from the bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hate to say it, I'm like, yo, this is probably going to be his last studio session. I don't think he's going to make it back next week.
Oh man. But no, you're right. Yeah, you can see that. I see it out there all the time. I see it all the time. But
I can imagine you do.
oh my God! Like what's getting really bad is the juveniles with the stolen cars. They are stealing everything.
Yes, they
everything, and I don't think people really understand this either. Like, you know, these guys that are higher up, like the older criminals that are out there doing bad things, they're using these juveniles to do these things.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Just last week, my partner, guy at the funeral home that I work with, was at a particular place, and he was at a particular place, you know, and he was, you know, I could say he was at the crematory picking up cremains for a family, and you know, we're out in the suburbs in Berlin, you know, in the industrial area. Normally, I drive him up there, and this particular day, he didn't call me. He should have called me to drive him like he normally would, but he probably thought he'll have to buy me more coffee and donuts. So he didn't call me. Make a long story short, he's out in the suburbs in Berlin, and then all of a sudden, he left his door open, and a guy on the bike, they paid him no attention. Next thing you know, the guy on the bike is in the Cadillac, took the funeral director's car. Took off. Yep.
With the remains in there?
No, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. And then they tried to stop him and almost got hit. But luckily they found the car later on, you know, the good police, the police.
They find it with the guy or no?
No, he just used the car to get where he had to go.
He
left it intact. No, he was an older gentleman.
Older guy, yeah. It's crazy. People, I've never thought in my life, I don't know what goes through people's heads. I don't know. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. I've never thought in my life, I'm going to just take this person's car today. You know what I mean? I don't get it, but
I know you see everything. But you know what? Nothing surprises me now. Nothing surprises me.
I mean, if you're a somewhat logical person, and I mean, you grew up in New Haven, you see what's going on out there.
Yes,
you're not blind to it. You
That's
know?
right. That's right.
You know, and it's sad because I see a lot of people just misinformed and not really understanding what's going on in their own community.
Right.
It's like, this is not a cakewalk out there. It's not like everything is great, and there's a lot of things that need to be fixed out there. And I gotta say, but overall, I think the good still outweighs the bad. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, but at the end of the day, I mean, I live a happy, jolly life, and I still think the good outweighs the bad. You know, I see a lot of bad going on. Bad always went on, but it's worse now. But I think the good outweighs the bad. Overall. Yeah, I think how life works is this. Like, I think when I look at good and bad, I think that I see a lot of people doing bad because they want instant gratification. You know what I mean?
Right,
right. And listen, these people win all the time. They do a lot.
Yes,
that's why they do these bad things, because it works for them. So a lot of times what happens is bad people do bad things and they get what they want, and it happens fast. When you're doing good things and you have to live a good life, it takes a long time. It takes doing that consistently to get good things in your life.
You're
you
right.
know what I'm saying? And that's where I think the world is divided. You have people that are so impatient now, especially since, like we said, this world is moving so fast.
Yes.
And they don't want that. They want things now.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? They're doing bad things to get it.
Yep, you got that right. You got that right.
So, now, this whole, you're a mortician?
Yes.
Mortician. What does that entail? Like, what are the specifics of that?
Well, I work in the funeral industry when people time of bereavement. Right now, I'm a funeral director's assistant. I'm not a licensed funeral director as of yet. I went back to school. I'm in school currently now as we speak, so I could get my funeral director's license.
Oh, it's awesome. What is the school? What is the school like?
The school is, what is the school like? It's awesome. I mean, you just learn funeral service, death and dying. You take up those type of classes, and then then it's a lot of labs.
Yeah.
Yep. I got less than a year to go, and I'll be a licensed funeral director.
Who does a school like that?
Who does a school? Lincoln, and Southington was doing it, but they just recently closed. Now you have to go to Goodwin in East Hartford.
I've heard of them. Okay. So like technical kind of schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the only school in Connecticut. It's only one school in Connecticut.
Okay, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now everybody who wants to be you said a funeral director has to go through that schooling?
Yep, a mortician or funeral director.
Yeah,
mortician, funeral director. Yep, have to go to the school.
Now, the day that me and Markel met, I can't talk really specifically about it, but I'll say one thing. Sometimes you go to these things and, the family's there and everything. You got to make them feel comfortable. That's the number one thing. You got to make them feel comfortable.
Right.
In my job, it's very awkward. I'm not going to lie, it's awkward, but you have to understand that this is a death in the family. These people are very upset. I've went to some houses, I don't know about you, but I've went to some houses where there's chaos going on.
Oh, I've seen that plenty of times, and I want to thank you guys, the police, because without your assistance, there, man, you guys make us feel comfortable. Because there's some times that we don't want to go. I mean, because you see a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during the period of death, people are arguing, and it's not a comfortable environment.
It's crazy.
And then sometimes, you go, we're there. It's like we're the Grand Reaper. You know what I mean? It's like when we walk in the room. And sometimes you see people you know what I mean? It's like, man, you know what I mean? You see people you know.
Yeah, same thing with me, dude.
It's like, oh, man.
I've had to lock people up that I know, bro.
I know, right? Can you imagine? I know that got to be a bad feeling. It's not
awkward.
You, man.
It's awkward.
Sometimes I've seen people that I've known that are laying there deceased. And then sometimes I see family, people I went to school with, relatives, people from church, or, from the community. I see different... I see every type of situation. And then sometimes when we're there, like I said, sometimes it's like without the help of the police, sometimes I'm like, man, if there's not a cop here, I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to say it like that, but,
Well,
unfortunately, everybody's not the same.
Right. When we're there, I think it gives you guys a sense of well-being.
Hey, protection.
Like, okay, if these people get out of hand,
protection,
at least.
Because I've seen it before, we was there before, then, I grew up in New Haven. I know a lot of guys. I have a lot of thugs in the family, fake thugs, and I see them. Oh, but then you got some of them real thugs. And there's something when you're, a guy like me, I'm only 5'9", 193 pounds. Then you got a big Debo dude coming in 316 pounds, man, all muscle saying, yo, man, I ain't ready for my loved one to leave yet. Yo, put him back. I'm like, all right.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what
happens.
I mean? Yeah, sometimes it'd be like, yo, man, we don't want, we here. Nah. I'm like, the funeral will be at the funeral. But
you're trying
sometimes you're looking for that cop, and sometimes the cops, you're like, yo, what happened to the officer? He left. You're like, oh, damn.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
wow.
I run in all kinds of situations, but I love my work. I love my work.
Yeah, you were telling me that's a passion of yours.
Yes.
How did that come about? It's not a normal thing, I would say, for people to be passionate about doing that stuff.
I've worked at a funeral home since I was a kid. I used to work at a funeral home because what happened was my dad died when I was young, and I remember him laying across the church, being in front. Everyone was crying and really sad. I was sad, but I was amazed, too. He looked so peaceful. He had a smile on his face. Mm-hmm. And then at that moment, I said, I want to do that.
That's awesome.
And then I remember the name of the funeral home that did it. I used to call there every single day, get on their nerve, and ask them for a job and beg them for a job. And the lady at the time, when she was living, the owner, she was so sweet lady. She would spend a lot of time and talk to me on the phone. Then I would say, she was like, you're too young to work at the funeral home. There's nothing you could do. And then I was like, hey, I could play the organ.
Oh.
And then she was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then but it was a joke to her.
Right.
Lo and behold, then my neighbor passed away, and my sister had to do a solo at the funeral home that buried my dad. And the service was at the funeral home. And my sister had to sing a solo, and I was little. They had an organ in there. I could barely touch the foot pedal, but I could really play. I was good. I was a great organist as a child. And then I remember after my sister singing, the lady was kind of bent down on her knees and was like, with her arms open to give me a hug. She's like, Markel, that's you. Come here. And then they gave me a job working at the funeral home.
Oh, wow.
They'll come pick me up from elementary school. I used to wear my suspenders, or my mother with my top hat. They'll come pick me up in the Lincolns and the Seville at the time, the Cadillacs. I had a good job at the funeral home, man. I think I was making about $7 a week. That was in the 80s, but that was a lot of money for a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean that's when they had penny candy, you know what I mean? So that was a lot of money. I made like $7 a week.
Wow.
And then as I got older, I was working in the funeral industry, and I would peek in the rooms where I shouldn't be at and shouldn't be at. And then one day, one of the days, the mortician said, "You could come in here. Come here." He said, "I know you've been watching me for years and looking at me." I said, "Yeah." So then he used to have me because I wasn't licensed and I was still in school. So the law does allow people to dress and assist. And so then I started doing that, and that was my job.
That's awesome.
And then I said, man, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So I just been in it ever since.
So exactly how old were you when that happened, when you first started?
When I first started working at the funeral home, probably about 11 years old.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah, about
That's
11
awesome.
years old.
And that's so prominent. It's like, I don't know about you, but I look back at some things in my life, like in my past, and you don't realize how important and like prominent that moment is at the time.
Yeah.
And now you can look back and you're like, wow, that kind of shaped your whole life.
Yeah, it did. I seen everything. Even then, in the 80s, I seen a lot of stuff happen. And, they'll let you know when you, I don't know, are we allowed to curse too?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. When I was working at the funeral home, I've learned, after you start looking at that stuff, I said, yo, this shit is real. I mean, when you see somebody who ain't moving no more,
Yeah.
that's the mind that came to you and said, yeah, everybody, I am a Christian, but every now and then you have to say a bad word every now and then. But when you see them dead corpse right there, you be like, yo, this shit is real.
Yeah.
Because it's like life is over.
Yeah. And I think you're
you
realizing.
see that too.
Yeah,
with your
you're
job,
seeing that at
what I mean?
11, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
when I was like, yeah, and I guess, and then my mother and sister and them when they'll pick me up from work, sometimes I'll leave like my coat or my top hat or my little tie in the room on the organ, and the body would be out there. My sister would be like, you're not scared to go in there? They'll be like, oh, Markel will be all over this funeral home. He's not scared. No. And then ever since then, I've learned since a kid, I'm more scared of live people than dead people. Dead people can't hurt you. Live people will hurt you.
That's so true.
You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Once you get past that, you're all set.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how people's minds look at that. Completely the opposite. What you just said is really the truth, the reality of it.
Oh, definitely.
But people think the complete opposite.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, like they're morbid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're so terrified of a dead body.
Yeah.
People are. Like, I get that question all the time. I don't know about you, but I get the question all the time. They're like, oh my god. They're like, you see the dead body? I'm like, yeah. But like, to me, like, I look back now, I'm like, it's nothing to me.
Right.
It's just another day.
Right, and that's how it is. And I just love, the funeral business. It's sad, but I love, it's helping people.
Yeah.
You're helping people get over the loss of a loved one. Even from the people don't realize it. Even from when you guys show up, you guys do more than just policing. You guys are also like I'll say almost like psychiatrists to a certain extent, because you're calming people down.
Yeah.
You're keeping them there. You wait for the mortician to get there, and you're the mediator between the family, the funeral home.
Yeah. We kind of
You
put
definitely
everything
multitask.
together. We
Yeah.
kind of put everything together.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't. Here's the thing too. They don't know what to do.
Right. They
a lot
sure
of them
don't.
know what to do.
They sure don't.
That's why, like, even that day, a lot. I like to see that when people are very grateful. Like when they're like, thank you so much, thank you for being so kind. Thank you this.
Right.
And it's to me, it's just what we do. That's how you have to be. But the fact of the matter is they really don't know. Like, imagine if you get that call, like, it's random. It's not like you can plan for that a lot of times.
Right.
So now what happens? You have this person that was a family member. You have your emotions running high. You think about how stressed you are. Your mind doesn't really work properly. So the scenario can be any which way. Crazy, or it could be just like they could just be dumbfounded and not know what to do.
Right. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't know what to do. I mean, they know, like, sometimes they can have an insurance policy and all that, so forth, so on. But when someone passes away at home, it's a lot of stress on the family. And honestly, a lot of times they look for us professionals in our field to help them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because we ease the burden 100%.
Yeah.
Because they really don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. I will say that, like, I don't know about you. You tell me, and we won't name any names of businesses, but I haven't seen, me personally, any funeral homes really be disrespectful or like unprofessional. Have you ever seen that?
Well, yes, I have seen it plenty of times, but
Really?
I mean, you have, yeah, I have seen it, but for the most part, most funeral homes, I mean, from the areas, from all that serve all the white families, black families, Hispanic families, most of all the funeral homes, I have a great deal of respect for all of them.
Yeah.
All of them are great funeral homes. I had the opportunity to work for many funeral homes, and all of that I work for, all the morticians and funeral homes that I work for are all awesome.
Yeah.
And now, and I see a day, it's a little different than it was when in the 80s. Back in the 80s, black people went to black funeral homes. White people went to Italians, went to the Italians. Irish went to the Irish. Polish went to the Polish. Now that's a melting pot with the baby boomers. A lot of things have changed now. The whole funeral industry has changed. It's like I related to the music. You're white. You make hip hop beats. A black guy could come to your studio and make beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A white guy could come to me and get a rock music.
That,
you know what I'm saying?
That really wasn't like that back then.
No, back then
you're
it
right.
wasn't like that. You went to... Now, I think with the interracial marriages, I say another 100 years from now, black and white is going to be weaned out, I think. I really think that.
I would love to see that. To be honest, I think...
I see it now. I have my nephews. I have 2 nephews. They're married to Italians. They have children.
That's great.
Their children... You know what I mean? I see it coming up. I see how my family, is so diverse. They're marrying white into white families. You know what I mean? I see how it's happening. So I say another 100 years, we might not see it. We'll see some of it, but another 100 years from now, it's going to be wiped out. I think so.
That'd be unbelievable.
Because years ago, I'll tell you a story. Like in the funeral industry, you take, for instance, Italians went to the Italians, but now after people got married and baby boomers and interracial marriages, people can say, I'm not going to go to that funeral home. They rip grandma and grandpa off. We're going to go over there to these cheap people. They do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do the same thing, So, and I love the industry, and I love the funeral industry, and I love the music.
Now, in the funeral industry, I'll tell you that the day that we met, I won't get too in depth because I can't, but I'll say this was the skinniest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. You know what? You see, you have different cases. I've seen it all, man. I've seen everything from the worst trauma to the worst cancers to everything. And it's like when I lost my mother like 5 years ago, going on 5 years ago, and she had a cancer. But I'm glad. No offense to any. In all respect to every family and anybody that hears it, but I'm glad she passed away in the hospital. I wouldn't want to see anyone to just deteriorating in my face. Yeah. That got to be a lot of emotionally distressed.
The hospital's making them feel as comfortable as they can, and I would
yes.
hope.
And in hospice care, I would always say that. I mean, sometimes people don't have no choice maybe but to bring them home, but that day was that family was stressed. I seen the mother; she was in bad shape, and my heart goes out to that family. Yeah, you're watching someone deteriorate in front of you, which is really bad. But that's why. And then too, when I got there, I knew the people very well, and it worked out really nice, and that helped ease the burden as well. Yeah. And it was so funny. Things happen for a reason because we started talking about other stuff because we were waiting for the elevator. It took so long to get down. We waited like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
remember?
all the time.
It was
all
like,
the time.
wow. We were like, man, we ever going to get upstairs?
It's always like that.
And then I was like, yo, man, that's a cool tattoo. Then we started talking, and then we started talking music and everything, and that's how it all happened.
You never know,
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the music end of it, it was funny because I actually went to Markel's studio a couple of weeks back and played him some of my music and stuff, which for me, I like doing that because I like to get other people's perspectives, especially people that are doing this.
Yeah, and you had some hot beats. I still need some of them beats. You didn't send them over to me.
I will, yeah, man, absolutely. I'm down. I think I don't know. You tell me, but I kind of never really gotten my beats out there, and I always found that to be the hardest thing because the other thing too is there's so many people doing it.
So many people are doing it, which is really cool. But only the good, the strong survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you like this: when you have real producers, you have fake producers. You have people who know music, and you have people who don't know music. Those who know music, they put it together. And I tell people, I'm very critical when it comes to producers. You don't have to be a musician that actually plays keyboards. Producers are intellectual in your mind. It's about knowing music. A producer, you don't have to know how to play an instrument at all. That's why I respect people who know how to, like you know how to sample, to put a beat together. That's a lot of work because it's in your mind. You got to know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, because I know a lot of musicians who can't produce for nothing. So a producer is somebody who's intellectual, who knows how to slice a beat, get a sample off a record, put a beat to it, put the right timing to it, quantize. That's a lot of work, but it's also a production in this production. So you don't have to be a musician to be a producer, but a lot of people are doing it. But some people don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just going on Fruity Loops and just hitting a button. and letting it. Now, when you're just putting two beats, attaching them together, no, that's not. That's my daughter does that. A little kid could do that.
No,
but
you're right.
A producer is when you could take an old record, sample it, chop it up, put a beat behind it, even if it ain't your beat. But if you're putting all these elements together and it's your creation, that's when you're a producer. That's why I like working with people. That's why I want some of them beats you have. I like people who could put a beat together because it takes some thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to take the beat. You got to know where to put the beat at, drop it. You know what I'm saying? That takes somebody who knows music also. So big ups to all the real producers.
Yeah, that's funny you say that.
Yeah.
No, you're right, because I have seen a lot of people that are like, oh, I make beats, and they're really not doing nothing.
No, they're
You know
not.
what I mean?
They're not doing nothing. And then also another producer is like when you make beats, a rapper could come to you and say, "Hey, I'm looking for." He could spit his rap to you, and he could. Then you could say, "All right, I'm gonna make a beat to that."
Yeah.
It's nothing that you have pre-made already. A producer will be able to take out his rap and say, "All right, how is this?
Right.
Let me snatch a few samples. Let me make this beat to your rap."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like when I listen to my beats, I think about who I can hear on that beat. I'm like,
Right.
This person's style would go to this, and that's also what a producer is.
Yep.
Knowing who would be good on
Most
that
definitely.
to make that a well-rounded song.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
You know.
Most definitely.
So my boy told me you have some Grammys. Tell me.
Yes, when I used to work for a company, a producer named All Star, I was his man. I did a lot of music for him, programming for him. I did an SWV, a lot of songs for them, and they won many awards. Yes, back in the 90s, they were hot. I did a lot of music. I did a lot of their music. I had the opportunity to do some music for Brandy, a remix while working for that company. Monica.
Those are some big 90s R&B.
Yeah, man. I was all in it. And I should have been a multi-millionaire, but me, I was, I did get ripped off. Like, it's one of those stories. It's not a sad story, but the deal is, I didn't know. My passion for music, I really didn't even care.
Yeah. And
one day my mother had sat me down and said, you keep running up to this guy's house. And what happened was I bought a gold chain for like $700 from this place downtown. And she was like, where you get that chain from? I'm like 19 years old, She's like, I didn't give you that kind of money. Where you get that from? What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like you coming home with it.
That's a good mom, though.
Yeah. And she's like, what you doing? Wait, something's going on. You got on a new sweatsuit, sneakers. Not that, we weren't poor, like, poverty-stricken poor. We were poor, but not poor, like, but she was like, what are you doing? Wait, this is, and, and of course, my nosy sister, you see that chain Markel wearing? They call me, I'm Markel, but my family call me Markel. They're like, you see that big chain he got? He can wear all this jerk. But the guy was giving me money. I was going up to his house out of town up in Springfield at the time.
Yeah.
And it's a public story, so I could talk about it. And I was making music for him. He's a producer. He was a beat maker. Okay. But he was like, yo, make a beat that, like this, and I'm doing this and this and this and this and that. Next thing you know, I'm in the car. Different people call me because I would bring back home little tapes and stuff. And then all of a sudden, someone called me and was like, yo, your music is on the radio, man. I'm like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah, then SWV is singing my music. I'm like, oh,
how
shoot.
Would you not know
I did program that.
But how did you not know that?
He didn't tell me at the time.
Oh.
He didn't tell me at the time.
Was there a reson for that?
Yeah, because I was young and dumb.
Yeah.
Man, I love music.
Yeah.
That's another thing I tell people. If you want to be in the music, you can't look at it just for the dollar figure. Us musicians and producers, we either die very, very rich or very poor. True. I admire a poor producer just as much as a rich producer because you're going to do music regardless. You're getting a dime for it or nothing for it. Right. And most true musicians and producers, they love music so much, they don't even care about the money. That's why when I see young cats getting into the game, they're like, I want to get this, that, that. That's the wrong reason. If you got money on your mind to make it, you definitely need another career.
Yeah, I say that about everything.
You know,
that's the whole basis of this brand. Do it for the love. Do it because you love to do it. It's your passion.
That's right.
It's your passion.
That's right.
You know.
Yep. And that's what I did, you know. And then next thing you know, it got a little ugly. But then I went to, I did get an out of court settlement. That's how I was able to start my own studio.
Oh, okay. So
I never really wanted. I never even wanted my own studio, man, because I'm a musician. I always just wanted to produce some music, go in the studio, write for an artist, produce and leave, get a check and leave, and just live a life like that.
Yeah.
You know, owning a studio and having a studio business, you know, it's fun, but you got now it takes you to another level. Now you got to pay more bills.
Yeah.
You got to keep your lights on, your gas on, your heat on, your air on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to always like work for a record label and different producers, do their music and leave. You know what I mean? That would have been the best way out for me.
Did you ever have opportunities like that?
Yes, I did. And, you know, but what happened after this incident happened, I said, it's time I get my own. You know?
you know, safe.
Yeah,
you know, the safe route.
Yeah, and you know, and but now when you Google my name up there as producer, you'll see the stuff I did music for. Yeah, but I did Monica, Brandy. You know what I mean? I had the opportunity. Then I did Color Me Bad. Wow. You know what I mean? I did some stuff for Color Me Bad. Awesome. That song Time and Chance, I did their remix. A jazz guitarist, Ronnie Gordon, Come With Me. I did their stuff. I did remix for SWV. I did work for.
How does this really work now? Do you go into the studio with these people, or do they send
Back in the day, you had to. There was only
right?
one way, but now social media, man. Even artists who do collabs together, they may not even see each other for
crazy.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's just social media. You just send it,
record
it, and send it.
It's nuts.
One thing I love about it now too, what makes the industry awesome is like you can sit in your beautiful setting here, which I love. This is dope.
Oh, thank you.
You know, you can just sit here. You don't even have to leave your house to make money. People are making millions sitting in their seat.
I just talked about
social media.
Yeah,
I mean, social media. You can sit here literally with a small keyboard, laptop, iPhone, make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, and I love it. I love it. I love social media.
The keys to it are this. Number one, you have to realize, okay, it's possible. You can make money on social media. And number one, like I did a little video today about it. Cell phones. There's a lot of negative aspects to cell phones, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, you see people very like stuck in them. Their lives like all day long. I guarantee you can't go anywhere without seeing somebody on it.
That's right.
In the day, right?
That's right.
So there's a lot of negative aspects, but if you can utilize a cell phone in this day and age and do crazy things. Like you were saying, you were telling me that day that you met a dude that showed you a beat that he made on his phone.
Yes. I mean, that's what people are doing. You know, people are making movies on their phone.
It's crazy. Just think of the generation. I mean?
Yes.
And what you could do with this.
Yes. And I'm not going to lie. I do love that part of the social media. I'm not going to lie. And I thank all my fans and people and artists that I'm working with. I'm working with artists that travel all across the country to come to my studio, my little studio, to come do their music because they see me on social media working with different artists. They see how me and my team work, and they're coming up. You know, just this week I have artists coming in from Florida and Texas this week. Yeah, man.
Wow.
You're more than welcome to stop by. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. I love
Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. I have artists that flying in just to come for me. They hired my production. They come to, they hired me to come and, get their stuff. But if I was them, I'll come to Markel also because Kel is great. I mean, there's not too many of me. Yeah. I mean, but I do great work.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because I know people with $1 million studios, and I'm blowing them out the water as far as clientele.
Wow.
Man, I'm booked up until December so far. Not booked all the way up to capacity, but I have bookings up until December, working with different groups from all over the country.
Wow. Now,
yeah.
Do you get a lot? Are these a lot of independent artists, or do you get a lot of label work?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Really?
Both from Sony, Capitol.
Wow.
Yeah, Sony and Capitol Records right now. Big ups to Sean And yeah, they're sending me clients.
You do anything that is maybe for this generation?
Yes, I'm currently in the studio with a lot of artists for this generation.
Really? Wow.
Yes, definitely hip hop. I would love to say his name, but everybody knows the artist that I can't. I would rather not. I can't say it right now, but in weeks to come, you'll hear some of my music on the radio. We're one of the hot.
It's already big.
Real big.
Really?
One of the hottest in the game right now.
Really? Now,
yes, I did.
Is he coming to your studio or no?
No, unfortunately, he didn't come to my studio, but I did produce the track.
Yeah.
I did produce the track.
Did you make the beat and stuff?
I did the beat, and an artist I have sang the hook that I wrote, and I did all the music. I did all the production,
really?
And then they did all the singing and rapping on. They did all the rapping on it. And then I had an artist to do a little singing on it, and then they sent the product back to us for us to mix and master it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And so you're confident this will be on the radio?
I know for a fact it'll be on the radio. Oh yeah.
Now, how does that work on your end, like financially? Do you
Great. I would get royalties. Yeah, I'll get royalties, and I'll get that's the good thing. Yeah, and one thing about it, what I'll get for the next how many years, I don't know how we'll get. One thing I can say, producing is great, but it's like when I first did work with SWV after a lawsuit, this, that, and the third, I was getting humongous checks. I mean, I was getting big checks. But after a while, they die down. Yeah. Because when an artist isn't hot anymore, the checks die down.
Yeah,
you got to remember. You get paid every 3 months, too. So, in fact, I just got a royalty check the other day for like $8.56. Yeah, Sony sent me a royalty check. I'm like, wow. But here it is 20 years later. I mean, but it's still coming in. Yeah. It's still money coming in. You know what I mean?
People don't understand how like unbelievable that is. Like royalties on stuff. You know what I mean?
It's a lifetime. Then you could pass them down to your next generation. That's why, like, when we get hits out, it's awesome. You get it forever. But I know, like, with I'm fortunate to get in the situations that I'm in right now. That's really gonna put me where I need to be financially.
Now, you're not, you didn't grow up in this social media generation. How'd you learn all that? Do you have somebody that does that for you, or do you do this all yourself? How does that work?
Well, I have friends, family, younger siblings, like not siblings, but, nephews and everything. They keep me in the game. I have like different musician friends. I'm older than a lot of the people I hang with. They keep me young. They keep me relevant. They keep me fresh. Yeah. They keep me looking good. And sometimes I blend right in because I don't look my age. So I just, it's like really funny. Good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I look at that because I'm like, so like when these people come into the studio, are they bringing a lot of people with them to do things like this for social media? Now, the difference, like you see the difference in, like obviously when you were going in studios back in the day, social media didn't exist, so there wasn't as much. Now I'm sure people are bringing in photographers with them and camera people with them.
Oh yeah, that happens often.
Yeah,
that happens often because when certain rappers and people come, and artists, they bring people with them sometimes, and sometimes they just go right on their phone and they go live, and it's like boom. Yeah. And that's how a lot of people are seeing me and seeing my work.
That's what I was figuring.
You know what I mean? And then that's and I work with a lot of YouTube sensations, you know what I mean, that actually came that said, nah, we don't want to, one thing about it, it's so funny because after my mom passed, I moved my studio. I moved the studio back to the house where originally my first studio was at. Yep. And then I had another studio. I always kept that one studio. And I kid you not, I've been in big studios with artists. But every artist that comes in that studio and sees me in that studio, I'm working with big artists. Some artists, I'm telling you, man, they're coming down. They said, no, I want to go in that studio right there. I want to be behind that microphone in your studio. No, I don't want to meet you at Hit Factory in Florida. I don't want to rent no $1 million studio. I want to come to your studio. I'm like, wow.
Really?
Man, and it's so awesome because I have YouTube sensations coming to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not boasting or bragging, but I don't think there's too many cats in Connecticut doing it. I mean, I have people coming from across the country, different. I have people come, and it's so funny, man, right? I used to joke with my brother-in-law, Billy. Like he'll say, "What you up, Markel?" I'll be like, "Not much, man. I'm waiting for an artist to come in from Sweden and from Germany, and as a joke."
Yeah.
Dude, everything I said and joked about is not happening. I got people coming from Canada. I have people coming from Utah. I have groups coming from Florida. I had artists coming from Texas. You know what I mean? They're constantly coming in. Just a few days ago, I had some representatives from Bad Boy at my studio.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't want me to come there. They came to see me.
Wow.
They said, "No, we want to see you. We don't want, no." I was like, I could arrange it that I could come down to New York. Kel, you don't understand what we're saying. We're coming to see you. We're on our way. In fact, we're in Greenwich right now. You stay put. Where you at? I'm like, oh, all right.
That's respect. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And they're coming from all over.
Well, it's smart, too, because, I mean, let's be real. If you're an artist, you want the best quality, and you see that this quality is coming out of that studio. I would want to be in that studio,
And you
too.
know what's crazy? It's like, you know that saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Right.
I'm always going to keep it forever.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I build a studio from the ground up, I mean, I kid you not. And I'm not to step on nobody's toes, but I brought people to different people's studios that I would think would blow mine out the water. But, the artists will be in that big studio and say, "This is beautiful. Wow, this is enormous. This is so awesome." But they'll say, "You know what? Can I speak to you a minute, Kel?" Then we'll go in the corner. They'll say, "I appreciate you bringing me here to the studio, but I want to go back to your studio. I need it. I want that sound. Your sound is awesome, man. Not knocking this. This is nice, but let's go back to that other studio."
What do you think the difference is?
I think the love is there. I think my mother and I don't know. I think my mother and my father, that was the house I was raised in, and I think something was planted there. That everybody wants to come to that studio. As we speak now, I have an artist there recording. I have my engineers there recording.
Oh, wow.
Every day, and if you look on my page and people see it, every day for the next 2-3 weeks, you'll see different artists.
That was where I came.
Yep, where you came.
And you know what? You know what, too, I think it is? I think that when you're in that area of, like, something just as small and quaint, you know what I mean? Like, it gives that more personal feeling where I think the artist can relax better too. You know what that probably is? You're bringing them to this giant multi-million-dollar. I'm sure they're nervous as shit. They never been in something like that before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because I have artists that are coming down. Big ups to Leandria. I talked to her a few days ago. People, they've been in multi-million-dollar studios, but she told me, "Kel, no, I want to be behind that mic in there with you. Where I seen those people at working with you, that's where I want to be." Yeah. I'm like, "Wow, really?" She's like, "Yeah, really. That's where I want to be. I want to be in that studio."
Have you ever asked these people why? Like, why?
Yes, I did. I really did. I asked a few people why. People just said something about that sound here, man. I think whoever built this place, and big ups to Ray Little, he helped me build the studio. But I think it was just built with the love and compassion of music, and that was going to go in there, you know what I mean? And I didn't know it was going to be to where it's at now. So, I mean, I plan on having a multi-million-dollar studio maybe one day, or maybe not. I don't know. But one thing I've learned, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because then, I see a lot of people do it, and I was with some partners and people that did it, man, and they got this studio, but you know what they got to do every day? They got to go to work. I don't got to go to work.
Yeah.
I could go right to the studio, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's doing it for me, and like I said, I'm not boasting or bragging, but everybody is coming there. I mean, from the industry cats to local cats. Yeah. They love that place. They love that little box, man, you know what I mean? Now, they love the sound.
What I wonder is this, because, like, I think people don't understand, like, the consistency that you need to have to get to this level. And a lot of people, if they don't get what they want, or they fall, or they fail, they quit. Mm-hmm. You have done this. You have done two things, basically, from a young age, your whole life, and you have never quit. And you can't tell. Don't tell me you haven't had times where it was hard, or where you thought maybe nothing would come of it, or can I really do this? Right.
Oh, that happened a lot. You know what I mean? Even though sometimes, everything is working out really nice for me now. But there's sometimes, well, thank God, knock on wood. But, I'll say like a year or so ago, I was like, man, I'm kind of sick of this. I just want to, again, I got that feeling, man, I just want to work for somebody, man. Just get a definite check, just come in when they let them do all the headache, let them do all the booking, let them do all of, let them do all of that mess. You know what I mean?
You have people that do that now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have actually I have 2 people that work for me full time that do all my booking. I mean, if I don't know you personally, you have to go through my booking management.
Yeah.
I don't book sessions myself. No, I don't do it.
That's smart.
Yeah, I don't. Because I just don't get into all of that. Yeah. When I'm working with the artist, I want our minds and hearts to be set on music and all that. Not, hey, did you pay that bill? Right. You know what I mean? No,
I think that's the best way, because I mean, if that's obviously your craft. That's obviously what you're best at, and. Obviously in the beginning when you start any business, you kind of got to multitask and do these things yourself. But like if you get to that point where you can actually separate yourself and have other people do that,
that's the best thing ever. Then it's no hard feelings. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't have to know your personal stories, your financial hardships, or
it's just strictly business.
Just strictly business.
You know what I mean?
And then sometime with the artists, some of the artists I do become kind of like friends with, and we chill, whatever. But we never have to even talk about finances. You know what I mean? Because it's taken care of. You know what I mean? Everything from the label all the way down to like local artists, they go through they deal with my management.
You get a lot of these like rappers and stuff that are just like wild when they come in and stuff. Or...
Yeah, you know what? I do, but you know what? I'll tell you, everybody from the weed smokers to whatever they do, they could come in my studio. They'll be high as a kite. But you know what I've learned? I think with the presence of my place too, they say, could we smoke? And you can't smoke in the studio. I don't allow that at all.
Yeah.
But you could go outside on the deck, walk down the street, go to the park. That's your business.
Yeah.
But I can't say all the thugs that even come, it's all respect. I never had a problem.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I never had to throw anyone out. No one never got out of their league.
Really? Wow.
No one never got,
you know
crazy.
What I think that is? It's the music, bro.
Yeah, it is the music too. It is the music.
It's because like music is so powerful. It really is. Like it has a lot of emotion attached to it.
Yes, it does.
You know what I mean? And it really can bring you to different points in your life. Like I think about sometimes like I hear a song from like my past, like my childhood, and I can vividly see something from that. You know what I mean? It's just crazy what music does. So that's another thing. What I think is like these people know what they're there for. They're there for something that's positive to them.
And I see the guys who just keep gangbangers, jail written all over them. The guys straight off the hood, straight from the hood. But when they come there, it's respect. Straight respect. Not only that, they probably see a couple shotguns in the corner too. And I'm just no, but at the same time, but it's always straight up respect, man. I never ever had a problem with hood dudes, as they'll say, or hood niggas, as they say. I never had no problems. Unfortunately, I had some problems when I was doing something with somebody from a church project, or like a Christian project. That's why you know what I'm saying? Once you would think. Yeah. But as far as my dudes from the streets, never. All love. I mean, from all over, from Hartford to New York, I never had no problems with the rappers.
Who was the most probably famous person you've worked with, you think?
Well, like I said, relatively to today, I can't say, but when you find out it's a current artist right now, one of the hottest rappers in the game, who I'm currently working with right now, who I can't say his name, but I've worked with big names. Like I said,
what was the best experience for you, like to see these people work in real life? Like what wowed you?
When I met Brandy, when she was doing a song at the studio in New York, when I was in New York working, we were at the Hip Factory. We were at what studio was that? We were at, oh gosh, you'll come to me when I get home. They're still open. They're still open to this day. Oh man, gosh. Yeah, when the podcast's over, it's gonna come to mind. But Brandy was really nice to meet and work with. Yeah, and then I had the opportunity to do. I also did. I didn't meet her, but I also did Me, Myself, and I remix with Brandy. I mean, not me, I mean with Beyonce. I did one of the dance remixes. That was really? One of mine. Yeah. So I mean, but I never met her. I had the opportunity to talk to her over the phone once.
Wow.
But I did meet Kelly Rowland on several occasions.
Okay.
Yep. And then we were Actually, Kelly Rowland and we met in New York, and we became friends, and we used to talk on the phone a lot. But then when I was dating another young lady, I don't know if she stole my Rolodex. It wasn't as current as, you could do stuff today. But yeah, man, next thing you know, I lost the number.
Oh,
I didn't know it by heart. And yeah, man, I was pissed.
I'm sure.
And I was pissed, and we were good friends.
That's funny.
But I met some, I met quite a few celebrities.
You ever come across like people that you worked with that were high profile like that, celebrities that one were either not as nice or two were not as talented as you thought?
Actually, nah. I mean, the ones who I ran across, well, actually, yeah, because people sometimes aren't as talented as you think they are. They need direction too.
Yeah.
They're just good with direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Even when I was working with SWV, I mean, the whole group is good, but even with the work they did, when we were in the studio, the other writers on a few songs that I produced, they needed direction to, to know which way to go, how a song should be sang. I mean, but they, you'll be surprised. Sometimes somebody could be the most talented, but they still need direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the new hip hop that's out now.
I love it, man. I love it.
I like a lot of it. I listen to everything. I'm a big.
Me too.
I don't stick to it. You get the people that are like, oh, this shit sucks. I can't listen to it. And they're all about the 90s and hip hop and whatnot. I love everything. But
if you want to be in the music game, you better love everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do believe that this generation of hip hop, the producers are more prominent, meaning like they're more important. Not more important now, but I think they're carrying a lot of these artists.
Oh, definitely. I mean, sometimes a producer could definitely sell a record now.
Oh yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
I listen now and I'm like, I hear the artist and I'm like, oh my god, he's not. I can't even understand sometimes what he's saying, but the beat is so banging,
right?
That it's all over the radio.
Yes,
but you can't understand what this guy's saying. You know
right.
what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. A lot of artists, even local artists and people I work with, sometimes I don't know what they're saying. I might know 2 words out of the whole hook, but I love it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? But yeah. Honestly, I love a nice beat. Whether it's old or new, I love a nice beat. And I could rock out. Again, it goes back to loving music. When you love music, you appreciate it all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I like rock music. I like pop music. Mm-hmm. I like heavy metal music. I love gospel music, Christian music. I love all music with a nice beat. You know what I mean? And honestly, to me, it's all the same. It's just different lyrics.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you got
right.
a lot of, because right now in church, there's a lot of church and Christian music. It's rock, straight up rock. Yeah. It's just different lyrics.
Yeah.
It's R&B music. It's just straight up churchy music, but just different lyrics. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. R&B music the same. Music is universal. That's what people don't understand. Is universal, will always be. And most of the time, one thing I've learned, you're born in the world with a song, you leave with a song.
Oh, that's a great one.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And you're a very diverse person, Markel. That's why we had you on here. We'll wrap this up for today.
Yes, I enjoyed
episode
myself.
9. Yeah, man. Episode 9, Markel.
Right.
We got him here, guys.
Thank you.
Grammy Award winner.
All right. And there's much to come, man. We got a lot of artists coming out. We have, just to quickly... Soon, I mean, my daughter Mary Elizabeth will be dropping a single. Darius Rivers, Kendra Cantrell Bacote. I have a lot of new artists that I'm working with. Ganelli to Misha Atkins. It's a lot of different people I'm working with. Be looking out for those names, and it's going to be awesome, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, once you release some of this stuff, definitely send it to me. I'll post it everywhere.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I certainly will.
It's all about helping each other. That's kind of what this is about. Everybody connecting. Definitely. It's very important to know, what people are doing, because you never know how you can help each other.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so I definitely want to come check out everything you're doing.
Yes,
and
man.
Sit in on some
things.
Definitely. I love to learn, man.
You got it, and I'm gonna have you over this week, man. Hopefully you come.
Yeah, let me know. So, all right, guys. Well, that was episode 9. Markel, again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Man.
All right.
Great night, and drive safe. And we'll
Thank
get you. We'll get you back here. I know people like to keep hearing from the guests. So this is going to be an ongoing thing, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. I appreciate it for you having me.
All right, guys, you know where to find us. Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. So check us out, episode 9. Take care.